Hopefully, some of this will show up on YouTube. Okay, so from the top. Okay, I'm Frankie-san.
And I'm Mark.
So now we're recording this, and hopefully this will be up on YouTube. Yep. So as we're going to be talking a lot about trailers. He got a movie review. The announcement I said 2 weeks ago, they canceled the blog. They canceled the Godzilla website. So I just recorded a bit at the beginning of the show for Instagram. Instagram, they call it your story. It's basically you go live. You record like a clip, 5-10 minutes, whatever. I did like a 2-3 minute clip opening the show, and right now that's playing on Instagram. So there's two places you're going to see us from now on. YouTube, when the show gets uploaded within 48 hours. Should be up by Sunday, Monday. And right now we've got a little clip live. So if you've seen the show on YouTube, you can go to Instagram and you can see the little clip that we recorded at the beginning. I recorded on my iPhone here, not iPhone, Samsung, well, LG, whatever. Anyway, and I recorded on Instagram. So those are the two channels you'll be able to see us. And you're going to be seeing a lot more. Oh, okay. As a matter of fact, there I go on Instagram. Yep. You'll be seeing a lot of band music. That's me with the band. That's Carlos, a singer in the blue shirt. The bassist, John Ortega, and the rest of the band. So you can follow me right there, Frankie-san. So that's my new spot. You can tag me on, and you can follow.
So what kind of music you'll be playing?
It's all going to be original music, all original. Because
what type?
It's going to be rock and pop. A little bit funk and a little bit metal in there, heavy metal. The main reason is we do play covers, but YouTube has a big problem with doing covers and copyright material and all that information. Yep. So they can't touch us when it comes to original material. So you're going to be seeing that. You see a lot of car pictures because I work in BMW. You're going to be seeing a little cute little kitties and puppies because I just recorded some guy was walking these cute little dogs at Central Park. So I recorded that. So I'm going to be posting a lot on Instagram. You will get a lot from Monday to Thursday. And this is our YouTube site. So we're taking a little time to make this announcement. But this is the switch over.
Our subscription numbers are up to 457. You know, just thanks to you. Please subscribe, like, and we can get even more views and watching and subscriptions. I see a lot of the watches we're getting are from the mini clips that you have put up. Those mini clips where you speak to Mark Hamill. The clips where you speak to Mark Hamill. You put on James Bond clips, other clips from Diner with Mickey Rourke.
Right. When he was a great-looking guy, he didn't have all that plastic surgery and get into boxing matches. Yeah,
but I think it was more of the. I don't want to get sued. Maybe more of the abusive substances that really messes up your face.
No, he was.
Yeah, well, yeah, allegedly, because don't sue me.
Allegedly, yeah, that's the key word. Thank you, Mr. Engineer. Yes.
Yeah, because, at the time, he was partying hard, drinking a lot, and, the favorite candy of the 90s and 80s. You know what that was, a little white
you mean
candy.
the snow crystals, as we call it.
Everybody talks about. Well, Rick James, everybody.
Yeah, well, that was big in the 80s. Now, talking about snow crystals, because that reminds me of the crystal foxes from The Last Jedi. The Last Jedi new trailer. What's that?
It dropped, yes.
What's it called? The Return of the Rise of the Skywalker?
Yeah, Rise of Skywalker. It's such fan service. I'm sorry to say a lot of people are going to bring us hate, but it's true. I've been saying it from day one when the franchise came back from Force Awakens. I said it wasn't good, and people said, "No, it's great, it's great." I'm like, it's a ripoff of A New Hope, and people said, "No, it's not." And I said, "Did you see A New Hope?" "No, I don't see old movies." I'm like, "Watch it. It's a ripoff."
Yeah.
And then the next one, a lot of people are saying the end scene was a ripoff from Escape from L.A. That they put it next to each other, and they say the beats are the same. Where you have Snake Plissken drop, people shoot the police shoot him down, but it was just a hologram.
Right.
There was just like a beat for beat ripoff of the end scene from Escape from L.A.
Well, that's obvious because Ryan Johnson is a John Carpenter fan.
Yeah, there you go.
So it shows. John Carpenter, he did a movie called Assault on, one of his first movies, Assault on 13, Assault on Precinct 13.
Assault, yes.
Right, which was actually a remake of Real Lobo because he was a John Ford fan. John Ford was most famous for directing westerns back with John Wayne back in the 60s and 70s. And so John Carpenter was a fan, so he took, I think it was Real Lobo. And he took the whole basic concept. Guys trying to break out the friends out of jail, and then they attacked the precinct. Back then, it was like a fort or something like that. And John Carpenter basically rewrote the thing. Now over here, J.J. Abrams is kind of basically he took all the concepts, rewriting everything. The parents are not drunks. Lando's coming back. He's injecting a lot of stuff from Empire
Fan
and Return of the Jedi.
service.
Fan service, exactly. Me, I'll be glad when this thing is over. But already
It's already over from day one. For me, it was over.
Yeah, I mean,
They killed it from
they
from
killed it in the first
step.
movie when they
Yeah.
said, okay, this is going to be the Han Solo movie. This is going to be a Luke Skywalker movie. The third movie was supposed to be based on Princess Leia. So people said, how they? Somebody was asking me about that. Remember when Leia hugged Harrison Ford? Okay, and she put her head on the shoulder.
Yeah.
They took that, they reversed the clip, and they injected Ray into the scene. So it's a duplicate scene, but they did a cutout. They took Harrison Ford out, they put her in there, and that's how. So now the movie is not as about her. They had to walk around that. For me, I said it from day one. When they came back with this trilogy, everybody should have been there from the get-go. No, let's do a Han Solo movie, let's do more Camo, and the last one's supposed to be about Leia. So they split everybody. They're so desperate they had to put Lando back in. They brought back Palpatine, and I'm going, why? So
It's just fan service. It's sort of like it's fan service because they said originally, this was almost a copy of a Star Wars, of Star Trek fan fiction, where this girl wrote about this girl who was incredible and had everything, all abilities, was smarter than every captain. It was a fan service novel about Star Trek, and she wrote it. And she said that all the captains loved her. She was the best, the smartest, the brightest. Her name was Mary Sue, and she had all these abilities. And every captain, Kirk, bowed down to her. She was smarter than Leonard Nimoy, than Dr. Spock, and everybody bowed down to her. And then she dies, and everybody cries. And this is nothing more than, like, I'm sorry to say, Rian Johnson really, like they said, stepped on it or dirtied the bed and really messed it up. He wanted to subvert expectations and just ruined it. Yeah, I mean, at least J.J. Abrams is a good gifted writer. Director, but at least he's going to try to put the pieces back together. Look, as long as the movie's fun, I'm tired of the storyline, to be honest with you. Enough with the Skywalkers. That's why I'm glad they're going to have Mandalorian. They're going to have another Star Wars live action. It's the same thing like with Star Trek. Who is it? Thor wanted more money for the new Star Trek 4. They all wanted it. What is it? Chris Pine wanted more money. They all wanted it. And they were pretty much due if that last Star Trek Beyond had been successful. Right. They were due. It was, to them, it was going to be like their Marvel universe, but they kept, messing up, and they kept stepping in it. Yeah. And once they stepped in it, they couldn't reel it back, and they didn't have the money to pay these two actors more money because the cost overruns already were going on out of control. Right. The last movie they went really over budget. I mean, the movie did make money. Star Trek Frontiers, but the problem was they spent so much money on it that they didn't want to continue. It's the same thing like what happened with Del Toro. When he did Hellboy, he wanted to do Hellboy number 3, and he spent so much money on number 2, and they got the money back and made money, but not enough. It's the same syndrome like what happened with Spider-Man. That's why they canceled the Amazing Spider-Man with Andrew Garfield as the Spider-Man. Right. There was supposed to be one more. The way they introduced the Riddler. Not the Riddler, wrong franchise. Rhino. No, not Rhino, the other one. The Green Goblin again. Oh, they did? No, because... Yeah, remember it was Lizard? Right. And then Jamie Foxx as Electro. Yes. Along with the Green Goblin and Rhino. At the end. Well, Rhino was at the end. And it was supposed to be the rise culmination of the Sinister Six. Right, but what happened was the film cost, it made $700 million. Well, what happened was the picture, they still won't say exactly what the budget was, but they spent over $300 million, and then they spent about another $200 million marketing it. That's 5 bills already. So you left with approximately $200. Where do you think the money's going to come from for the next movie? To the $200 million. So that money's already used up. That means there was no profit. Somebody cancels. Sony said, "Okay, we're going to cancel everything. Screw this." Yeah. Okay. I mentioned Riddler.
Gotham, because the last 2 episodes, let me squeeze that in there real quick. We got one more episode of the Gotham. I want to shout out to all my background fans who wind up in the last 2 episodes. They didn't call me, but anyway. Yeah, I know. But I did show up last season, so that was cool. I got to work with the Riddler. Anyway,
what would happen if you just showed up? Would they have allowed you into the scenes?
No. Union rules. But anyway, that's another thing. Anyway, so and what happened with that, the ratings wasn't sufficient enough because they spent a lot of money in the sets. That's why you see a lot of times the same sets over again. They redress them. Okay, it got to the point where the film, if you saw where the Army general, supposedly he crosses underneath the bridge, underneath the tunnel. That scene was used a lot of times in other episodes, except they keep redressing it. Okay, it's an old thing to do with Star Trek. The famous space station, and Rata Khan was actually the same space station that was in Star Trek: The Motion Picture. All they did was turn it upside down and repainted it. They used the same set. Okay, except for this Discovery. Let me go right into that. This Discovery. They spent a lot of money. The last final episode, they finally got right. They explained what happened with Discovery. Discovery. Well, if you haven't seen the episode, very simple. They do travel to the future. They fixed that timeline. The fan base wanted Captain Pike and Spock to continue. Those 2 actors will let go of the contract, along with female number 1. They're going to just concentrate on Discovery in the future. And I always say it should have been in the first place. Season 1 was a train wreck. Yes. As far as a white Klingon, I still can't explain that. Then the second, they had to put in a Captain Pike to pick up and Spock to pick up the ratings. It worked. They actually spend money on making up a new Enterprise, a Captain Kirk era Enterprise for the show. They spent a lot of money on that, hoping the fans would tune in. I mean, the show's been kind of train wreck, but I love that Captain Pike storyline. That worked. Spock and the 7 Angels did not work. Michelle Yeoh, and was it Area 51? No, that's not a franchise.
Yeah, it's supposed to be...
M31?
Yes, it's supposed to be like Section.
Yeah, bad idea. The only reason I'm going to say it is because of Michelle Yeoh. Michelle Yeoh was that attached to it, I would not even bother to see it. This time... a fan service, yeah, you can call it that, fan base. The fans want Captain Pike and Spock to continue with that storyline. I think that's the direction they should go in, because Discovery is basically a wipeout. Now you're going to take Discovery, send it into the future, and do like Voyager, where they get lost in an Alpha Quadrant, and then they get out somewhere, lost in the boondocks, and Janeway said, no, we're going to still stick with the Starfleet regulations, because we represent Starfleet. Nobody's going to care out in the boondocks. But Captain Janeway, no, we're still going to represent the Federation. We're going to stick with rules. Boring. So Discovery's going to do that. They're going to go in the future. I always said Star Trek should have been in the future another 50 years. Well, they kind of corrected that, because now we're getting another Picard series.
But are we? I heard there's some problems with that, because first of all, they said that they're having problems with money. They're having money problems, because most of the money... if nobody understands this, most of this money for some of these features that we're doing, like Star Trek Beyond, was foreign money. A lot of it was foreign money. A lot of it was Chinese money, if you understand. And by Chinese money, we mean Chinese, this is all pure speculation, not really. But this is what I'm saying. It was all Chinese government money. Allegedly. So then there came about new laws where you can't use Chinese government foreign money, because then it's having an undue influence on a type of business in America.
Right.
So that's what they were having. Star Trek was having funny money problems with that. And most of all these other streaming services that they're trying to get money from, foreign money, like Teenage Mutant Turtles, Transformers, they were all getting Chinese foreign money to try to invest into these movies. But they're like, these franchises are making money, but they're not making as much money as we would like.
That's the problem.
They're tanking.
Yeah, it's people say, well, a good example, Hellboy. That's why we're going on Hellboy. A little wrap around Hellboy, and the total wanted 150 million for the third picture, and the studio said no, because your Hellboy made 300 million, but it costs 150 to make, another 100 to publicize it. So the picture next door is making let's say $100, and you're only making a profit of $1. So why should we continue with the Hellboy number 3? Same thing would happen with Pacific Rim.
Yeah. It's that whole thing about making $1 billion.
Yeah.
Everybody's looking for that $1 billion mark. If you can't promise that $1 billion mark, no money.
Quick movie review. You did see Hellboy.
Ta-da! Yes, I did.
And
I enjoyed it, but a lot of people may not have enjoyed it. The ratings, the critics are really down on it. They really bashed the film because they didn't expect Hellboy to be what it became. It became more of a gore, horror gore film.
But that was the graphic novel.
Yeah,
there were more faithful to it.
People were already used to Benicio del Toro's films. Like, they're nice, Hellboy comes in fights, beats up the bad guy, but no gore. You know, spoilers. If you like gore, this is the type of movie for you. But if you're sort of like, you know, like they always say there's a difference between Marvel comic fans and Marvel film fans. And they could tell the difference whether you're a Marvel film fan or Marvel comic fan. These Benicio del Toro's were film movies, not necessarily so much based on the comic book, but this last one is more based on the comic book, and it's gore about Hellboy punching people in the eye, ripping their eyes out, cutting limbs, people getting cut, blood all over the place, you know, spoiler. And a lot of people who expect the Hellboy to be not so gory were like, oh my God, this is awful. I don't expect this. I just brought my children to see this.
But the movie is rated R. They should know that already.
Yeah, but people don't know that because they're already set up by Benicio del Toro to see a nice, happy Hellboy fighting the bad guys and winning, not Hellboy going in and chopping arms off, people getting cutted, mutilated, heads being ripped off.
Well, that really doesn't matter because Hellboy is not doing good at the box office. It's in the bottom of the top 10.
It's because people didn't expect to see this. People didn't expect. It's sort of like Venom. Venom got low ratings by the critics, but people who actually wanted to see Venom said, oh my God, Venom's eating skulls, eating heads, killing people, and it's rated R? I could really get into this. So it subverted expectations. They were people who brought their kids and said, well, there's a little gory, but, you know, Venom's funny. So I'm going to go along with it.
Well, the thing with Hellboy, nobody was really asking for a remake. That's why I didn't bother seeing it.
I think people wanted to see.
There's nobody at the box office.
Well,
it's tanking.
it's tanking because people.
It's at number 8 already.
You know, it's because it wasn't built up for the expected audience. The audience who went to see it was expecting like a nice film.
Pet Sematary is actually doing a little bit better, 44 million. But again, there was another sequel that nobody was asking for.
Yeah,
you know,
but horror fans love that stuff.
Yeah, the fan base is there. But then again, they went to see Us, which was
that movie was terrible. It was terrible.
It's the worst movie of the year so far.
It did so much money because people are like horror films. Like horror film fans will, if you say something's horror, they'll go see it.
Yeah,
it could be garbage.
That's a fan base. Same thing. Comic book movie. Yeah. Shazam is still number 1 at the box office. 3 weeks. I still haven't seen it. I'm so busy with playing in 2 bands here, so the music's taking up a lot of time. Lucky I managed to get here, do this show. But anyway,
so I would recommend Hellboy.
You would recommend it?
Yeah, I would see it, but it's gory. It's 100% gory. It's more for a horror film gore fan. If you like that movie with what's that movie where the guy has a chainsaw for an arm and he cuts Ash, right?
Yes, Evil Dead.
Evil Dead. If you're an Evil Dead fan, this is more for you because this is how graphic it gets.
Oh, by the way, it's not Benicio, it's Guillermo.
Oh, Benicio del Toro. Sorry,
that's the actor.
Everybody gets them mixed up. They always get these names mixed up. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, it happens. I've done that mistake. And a little footnote. Okay, so Star Wars is going to cable. Okay, once the movie is done, they know.
Nobody cares.
Yeah, the thing is that again, what you said about the $1 billion. Okay, Star Wars, it made $1 billion. Okay, so for the last 2 movies. Okay,
it could be bad and it'll make $1 billion.
It makes a piece of fan base there, but it does hurt them because you put in the toys, action figures, okay, collectibles. Let's say it that way. Toys, okay.
A lot of people aren't buying up the toys. That's what they said.
That's what's killing the franchise. Yeah. They don't buy it.
Same thing with Star Trek. They said they're having a lot of problems with Star Trek because nobody's really into the STD toys. And the licensing agreement, they're like, we're not interested. We're just going to make the original canon toys. And if you want to, we're not going to sell these toys. So they're not making their profit. Like Bad Robot has a licensing agreement with
Star
new
Trek.
Toys. Yeah, with Star Trek.
And he's tanking.
He's tanking. He didn't make any money on Star Trek Beyond.
Right.
And his toys. So that tanked. So that really put a hurt in his pocket. Like Marvel's making money from the back end from the toys. If if you can't make money from the toys, like Star Wars, as soon as they saw money from that, they started saying, "Oh, let's keep making this because we're making money off the toys." And if people aren't interested in the toys, you're going to be losing more money.
It reminds me of when every time they released the classic Pink Floyd album, Dark Side of the Moon, and a new multi-engineered remix. How many times you're going to own the friggin' album? You got the original album, you had the gratifying album, then you had the cassette, then you had the 8-track. Does anybody remember that? And then they got the CDs, and then they got the 4K. How many times are you going to own the friggin' album? It's like Star Wars, Millennium Falcon. Let's repaint it and give it blue stripes. How many times are you going to own that friggin' model over and over again? Because they're trying to recycle some of the classics, and now they're coming out with all the action figures that once I collected from 1980, they're coming on them and calling it classic Star Wars.
Yes, because they don't want to make the new Star Wars, and they said that they have a license agreement that has to be 25% different than the original for the person who makes the new movies based on that, like J.J. Abrams, to make money. But
Right.
Hasbro and the other Mattel, that's like, no one really likes these toys. Nobody likes your movies. Nobody's interested in it. We're not going to continue making. We have stuff from The Force Awakens still, and we still have what we call it, the Return of the Revenge of the Jedi, or whatever they call that, the last one. What the heck?
The Last Jedi.
The Last Jedi, whatever. Nobody was interested. So all that stuff is eventually going to get collected and thrown in the garbage. Like I said, I found a lot of that stuff in 5 and below. And I bought it as a goof, just to show you, look at this. Nobody really wants it.
And it's affecting the merchandise. Like, okay, a good example. Like, Disney owns all these franchises, right? Mary Poppins is supposed to be a new franchise because she wrote the author wrote a lot of books about Mary Poppins. The movie, as far as they're concerned, it's not worth enough to have more sequels of franchise on that. The same thing happened with the Muppets. Remember they created the new Muppet TV show? It tanked in the ratings, and it did not sell the merchandise. So now they got stuck with another franchise they're sitting on, they don't know what to do with. They went and introduced the new character, the girl who has autism, to revitalize the Muppet franchise. Disney has other property, and they get stuck with this franchise, and they're tanking. In the meantime, Marvel is cleaning up like crazy. So not only the movie, but also the merchandise. They're both tied in. And that's what's affecting Disney. So, okay, Frank, Star Wars going to make $1 billion. Yeah. But now they're stuck with the licensing right for the merchandise, and it's tanking. So now they're going to go on a spin-off and do the TV shows. They're doing the same thing with Star Trek. A real thing, footnote I forgot, Star Trek animated series, they're going to come up with another Star Trek animated series. And remember the first time around, this got yelled at. I said, because rather maybe said, I disown it. But in the meantime, he's the one who came out and introduced Robert April, who's supposed to be the first original captain of the Enterprise, and it mentions it over here. I still consider this part of the canon. People say, oh, no, well, they're coming out with another animated series anyway. So that makes no sense. But now fans say, okay, that's be part of the canon. But it's going to be a comedy. It's going to be a cartoon. I don't get it. But anyway.
Talk about Godzilla. We only have 2 minutes left.
Okay, the two big trailers, Godzilla and Endgame. Godzilla, they showed a 5-minute clip all over the internet on IMAX, and I thought that Godzilla, the big showdown would be Godzilla and King Ghidorah at the end. No, that one of the first scenes, King Ghidorah gets out. It's in the trailer. So spoiler alert. Then Godzilla shows up and says, "What the hell is this?" And they bring on the fight. And then they bring in Rodan, then they bring in Mothra, and then they bring the other two characters. I still got a problem with the budget. Okay, I'm going to bring this up for the next show. It looks like he cut corners on the budget, and everything's kind of like dark and misty and foggy. That's a great way to save, because everybody was making a big deal about Godzilla making $150 million. No, it costing $150 million. Because Godzilla finally got a good budget on his hands. Nobody's talking about the budget on this one. So something is up, okay? I'll continue more about that because we're going to talk about the budget and Endgames. What do you think about the trailer for the Endgames? Yes or no?
I think it's going to be 3 hours. I have my tickets.
You put tickets. I think you say you should be looking forward to it.
I don't think so. I don't know. We got 30 seconds.
Well, everybody, we're gonna be back after
Endgame.
After Endgame in 2 weeks. There will be spoilers because we expect everybody to be there the first weekend. So when we come back, there's gonna be spoilers.
We're going to talk about it.
We're gonna talk about it. Sorry, that's the way it goes. Okay, no holding back no more. Okay, we see you on YouTube and look for me on Instagram. Thanks everybody for watching. Appreciate it. See you next time.
I love you.
Boy, we squeezed in a lot. We lost the last, the first 5 minutes? Nope, let's see.